Nobody can stop me. Nobody can hold me. Nobody can control me.
Niggas, I think it was called them ABC. Apparently, they're a part of Bullet Club.
I don't know what's going on with Bullet Club no more.
Yeah, Ace Austin and Chris Bay.
Yeah,
Who?
them niggas. Them niggas. And then what else I see? Oh, it was also big goofy nigga that used to be in WWE. Francis.
Top dollar.
Yeah.
Flop
Yeah.
dollar, to be specific.
Nigga
Big nigga. Him versus some weird looking dude named PCO. He was weird because like he looked old. I don't know if he is old, but he damn sure looked old.
According to Solid Monster, he's old.
Well, yeah, he definitely looked old if he wasn't. But yeah, if he is old, he definitely looked the part. Because I was just like, who is this nigga wrestling? He looked like he old, like somebody who should have been wrestling in the 90s. But he beat Francis.
Nah, it's Slammiversary from based off of just again the 3 matches. Well, if you want to count total, 2 matches really. Like just based off of those, I mean, it was a good show. That main event was really, really good though.
What was the main event? I missed all of that.
It was for the TNA World Title. It was the 6-man
elimination. 6-man elimination match, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you had Dolph, you had Moose, Joe Hendry, Kazarian, Josh Alexander, and I'm missing somebody. Oh, I can't remember the last 2. Josh Alexander, Moose, Joe Hendry, Dolph, Kazarian. Who's the last person? There's somebody else. I can't remember who the hell it is. I don't remember who the hell it was, but he was in the match too. Whoever you are, sorry, I don't remember who the hell you was, but he was in the match too.
I heard that the crowd chanted bullshit when Joe Hendry lost.
Yeah, because see, Joe Hendry had the biggest. Joe had the biggest pop of the night because he pinned Moose was the first person to get eliminated. He pinned Moose, and everybody was like, "Oh snap!" Like this is about to have a whole.
Yeah, Moose getting eliminated first because it's just like that guarantees you get a new champion. That's kind of like in the elimination chamber.
Yeah.
When Bray won, the first person, either the first or second person eliminated was Cena. Cena was the champion. Was it? No. Cena wasn't the champion. I forgot who it was.
Cena was the champion. I can't remember. Cena was the champ.
Cena was the champ. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I just remember he when he got eliminated, it was just like, okay, it was dope because it was like, okay, you automatically know you're getting a new champion now. Because the nigga who was the champion just got eliminated first or early on. That'd be the dope part to me about eliminator matches. Because it's just like when the champion loses first, okay, now it gets really exciting because it's just like, okay, with him out, you know for a fact you're getting a new champion. So who the fuck is it going to be?
Steve Macklin. Steve Macklin was the 6th man. That's why I remember him because I ain't cared nothing about that nigga.
Who? Listen, out of those 4 people you named, out of those 6 people you named, 4 of them I knew. Now, in the first, was it Josh Alexander and Steve Macklin? I have no fucking clue who those guys are. I've never heard of them until just now.
So Josh Alexander, I mess with.
I'm somewhat familiar with Kazarian. I've heard of him before, Frankie Kazarian. The other 3 I know of. I know of Joe Hendry, obviously with his gimmick being huge right now. Moose being the TNA champion. I've been heard of Moose
since forever.
And obviously Dolph Ziggler. So definitely heard of him. But yeah, everybody, them other 2 niggas, no clue. None at all. Never heard of them until today.
So Josh Alexander, the walking weapon. Amazing in-ring talent. I've never heard him speak. I can tell you that. So I don't know about how his promos are, but I'll tell you this: amazing in the ring. He had a match against Will Ospreay at some point that I watched, and it was in TNA, and they tore the house down. As small a house as it is, they tore it down, and it was good. So the dude, he was a face at the time, and during this match, he low blowed Joe Hendry and beat him, and that made the crowd was the heat that they had with this man after that, because everybody wanted Joe Hendry to win this. Like, as much as people don't like Joe Hendry, like there's some people out there that just feel like it's just his music and he's just not there. But hey, listen, we said it already. Music, your theme song can make you. It can be as easy as that.
Whether people like to accept it, I know it's a small, very, very vocal minority in wrestling that seems to think wrestling is the end all be all. The wrestling part of wrestling is the end all be all. It isn't. Whether you like this or not, the people who become the biggest superstars throughout wrestling, who become superstars outside of professional wrestling, it ain't got nothing to do with their skills in ring. Nothing. It has everything to do with the fact that they have charisma, they have personality, and that shines above all. It always has been that way in pro wrestling. It will always be that way. All of the biggest, most well-named stars in wrestling had larger-than-life personalities. And were very charismatic people. I don't give a fuck how good they were in the ring. That matters very little. I feel like when people harp on that so much, it's just like you speaking on this like this is a real combat sport or something. Like I don't get people who don't really truly understand. Like wrestling is theater, bro. I've said it once, I've said it again, I'll keep saying it. Wrestling is theater. It is athletic theater. It's soap opera for men.
Tell them.
That's what pro wrestling is. It's a soap opera for men. It's dramatic tellings of stories with some athletic shit in between, some simulated fights in between. But it's not a sport. It's presented as sport. It's sports theater. You could call it that, but it's not an actual sport. You don't have to be uber athletic to be good at it.
If we being real, wrestling is a mixture of two things: the male wrestlers and then the women. And I say the women because when we come to wrestling shows, the question we always have to ask ourselves is,
Hey, where the bitches at? It's supposed to be titties. Where the fucking titties and the bitches?
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we be when we pull up.
Also, listen, also Jerry the King Lawler shit. Like, whether people like it or not, that's just the fact of the matter. Like, motherfuckers want to be overly politically correct and overcorrect and just suck the fun out of stuff. But it was just like, in reality, being honest with yourself, that's what a lot of people are looking towards. And you didn't got to try to make somebody feel smaller because that's what the hell they look for in pro wrestling. You can like what you like without trying to make somebody else feel bad because they don't like what you like.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and we also don't have to deny a truth, which is wrestling at its absolute peak. That's what
sex
it was.
Appeal.
It was
sex sales.
It was stories. It was sex appeal. It was outrageous, outlandish stories. It was great storytelling as well, involved with wrestling, with the wrestling involved. Because if you're not telling a good story, how are you going to get a good match? Now, don't get me wrong, you do have to be able to go to tell a complete good story. You do have to have some people who can go in the ring, but their whole entire personality can't just be built around the fact that, oh, I'm good in the ring. Okay, you can't have zero charisma though. You can't have zero personality. That can't just be your whole being. Hey, I'm really good in the ring, and this should be enough. No, it isn't. I'm sorry, it isn't. You just being really good in the ring and enough to carry you as far as into elite superstar status in wrestling. It's not. I know some people want it to be, but it just isn't.
And I'm not sure why people want that. It's like, and again, we're never going to hate on what you like. If you like to see more wrestling than story and character, then okay, power to you. That's what you like. But for some of us, we would much prefer to see story, character, and all these things before we get to anything. I don't want, before y'all even attack it. Look, someone pointed this out many times. CM Punk right now is the top merch seller in this company. This man hasn't had one singles match yet. Yet he's the top merch seller.
Not a one. Not a single one.
He ain't do no flip. He ain't do no dive. Nothing.
You know how the whole being great in the ring makes you a top superstar. That ain't the case either, because y'all love to complain about Jey Uso not having a quote unquote move set, yet Jey is constantly one of the top sellers in merch in this company.
Yeah.
But he's boring. He only has super kicks and the splash. And it's been proven time immemorial in wrestling. 5 moves will get you to check. You ain't got to do a bunch of shit.
No yields.
5 moves got Cena 16 titles.
5 moves got Cena 16 titles. 3 got Hogan a bunch of them. three of them got Hogan a bunch of them.
3 moves got the Usos tag titles forever. Super kick, dive, and
3 made the Usos some of the best, one of the best tag teams of all time. I'm like, bro, you listen. Being good is one thing, but it's just like, where's the personality? Why are we supposed to like you? Why are we supposed to hate you? Like, that's what this episode is about today. Like, getting motherfuckers to understand that, like, what the basics of wrestling is, because I think people have gotten so far away from that and wanted to mold it into what they want it to be. And it's just like, well, this is the basis of what the business is. I mean, you can like what you like, but this is how this business has been successful since the beginning and continues to be successful whether you like it or not. And it's been proven whenever you get away from these things, shit don't tend to work out. Less is more when it comes, to be honest. Less is more, because this is my thing. It lessens the impact on them. Okay, so in a match where you got a motherfucker that's doing a million and one moves to beat a person, some would argue that, hey, it just took all of that to beat them. Another would argue is like, okay, that's cool if you only do it for this match. But if you've got somebody using all of their moveset every single solitary match, which a lot of these indie guys do, whether people want to admit that or not, it takes away from not only the person doing the moves, but the person taking the moves. Especially the person doing the moves, because it's just like, well, doesn't seem like these moves have a much of an impact, because you got to throw your whole arsenal to beat everybody. So to me, that says you ain't that impactful. You ain't strong enough or powerful enough to get it done. Regardless of what you're doing, you ain't got enough impact to matter yet.
And my thing is, you can even throw that at Seth, because during Seth's heel run in 2015, hey, that man was not showing most of his moveset. It would just be a few times where he'll whip out some moves out of his bag, you know what I'm saying, against Cena or against Brock, and you'll be surprised by, oh, snap, I forgot this nigga could do this, or I didn't know he even could do this or do that, because he wasn't showing most of his moveset.
That's what it's supposed to.
Now he's just doing all of it.
That's what it's supposed to be, bro. That's what it's supposed to be like. It's certain things that I look forward to in wrestling, and I'm a big fan of, and I think it goes well into good character work for any wrestler. Like, for instance, I'm a big proponent of when during heel and face turns. I've spoken on this before. I'm a big proponent of when somebody turns heel, I personally believe they should incorporate a submission into. They should start using a submission as their finisher. I'm big into that because, especially because a good way to ring was as far as ring psychology. Okay, a good way for a heel to win is find a body part, work on that body part, and wear it down the entire match. And then when you get a chance, you use that submission finisher on that body part you've been working on for the whole match. Boom, victory.
Hey, that's the way people really honestly. Most of the heels that we have, whether you look at TNA, AEW, or WWE, like majority of them have one, but there's some of them out there that like so like Priest on that hand, like when he was in his heel run, he didn't really have one. Now, should he have added one to his moveset? I mean, I don't know. I mean, but does that really fit his style of wrestling? So, like, how would you go about it?
Well, that's why I look at it with the wrestler though. You should be versatile enough to me as a wrestler. You should be versatile enough to. You should have at least 1 to 2. You should have one finisher of each type. Meaning, when I say each type, I feel like you should have a finisher. You should at least one, honestly, 2. You should have a finisher that you can do off the top rope, even whether you use it or not, and you just got it on tuck. You should have a submission finisher, and you should have also you should have a finisher that you do just that you can hit from anywhere. You can hit it anywhere, and you should that finisher should also be capable of being able to hit that on anybody anywhere. Meaning, if you're big, small, or whatever, you should be able to hit that finisher on anybody, regardless of their size. Because I know a lot of times you'll have a smaller wrestler, but he's trying to do a move that's just like you couldn't do this on nobody if you're bigger, if they're a lot bigger than you. Like when small wrestlers be hitting tombstone pile drivers, I'm like, yeah, this is cute now, but just like nigga, if you wrestle somebody the same size as like say a Mark Henry, you can't do like the little flipping ass little boys that's the tag champions in AEW right now, the Young Bucks. And they got their tag team finisher is a variation of the tombstone pile driver. They would never be able to hit that move on say an Otis. So
Or
to me, it
Bronson?
doesn't make sense. Or Bronson Reed, or hell, I don't believe they could hit it on Braun Breaker.
Dang, did that frail?
I mean, these are really small dudes. Like I know they try to portray them as something differently, but it's just like they're not that much bigger than Jungle Boy.
Mm.
And we know he's small and frail as hell.
Yo. Y'all not bigger
So
than
it's
Jungle
just
Boy?
like they're small to the point that Rhea Ripley would dwarf that whole faction outside of Kazuchika Okada.
That's wild. But true.
It's very true. We know it is. Rhea Ripley would tower over that whole fucking faction except for Okada. And that's crazy. Like we're talking about a girl.
That's wild for
But yeah,
y'all.
like
Y'all better fix that.
but back to my whole finisher thing, that's why I believe that's why you gotta have a finisher you can hit on anybody from anywhere, doesn't matter. And and so that also goes back to my original point of like that's I like when heels incorporate submission moves.
Now, listen, most of the best that do it in the ring, they have one. MJF, Salt to the Earth. Rhea has her submission. Like most people again eventually incorporate something into their moveset. Even Roxanne.
I mean, it's a million and one holds.
Yeah.
It's a million and one holds, and it's just like that's another thing too, bro. You can have a hold that somebody's done already. Give that shit a cool ass name, and make sure you win with it, and it'll be over as hell.
Mm-hmm.
It can be the simplest of moves, but you give it a cool name, and all of a sudden, it's one of the dopest finishers ever. Case in point, Chris Jericho. Motherfucker just do a Boston Crab and call it the Walls of Jericho. It was the coolest move ever.
Now you're like, oh my god, he's doing the Walls of Jericho. Like, all right, my nigga, it's a Boston Crab, but
It's a Boston Crab, but
in your brain, you're like, oh, it's the Walls of Jericho. Though.
It's the Walls of Jericho. It's different, right?
It's different. He doing it.
It's different because Jericho's doing it. It's not, but what else?
Hey, Goon is on a different level though, because I don't think that nigga got a finisher. He just be doing everything.
Bro, Walter doesn't have a finisher, bro. I've seen him win matches with so many different moves. I've seen him win with a power bomb. I've seen him win with putting people in a sleeper. I've seen him win with a splash. I've seen him win with just a bunch of different shit, bro. A clothesline. Like, bro, I've seen him win 4 different ways. Like, I don't know what his finisher is. Still to this day.
Niggas gonna be mad upset at SummerSlam when that nigga beat Priest with a headlock.
Yo, the headlock takeover.
That's crazy.
Oh god, no, that'd be something. Hey,
He gonna hit a smooth Ric Flair chop block and then pin him, and it's gonna be it.
Pinning somebody off the chop block is crazy. Yeah, I'm asking for my money back. I'm going straight to the tip. Yeah, I need my bread. Pronto. Niggas winning on chop blocks out here. Yeah, get my bread.
Yeah, give me my money back. I'm going to AEW.
Yeah, I'm going anywhere other than here. I don't give a damn where it's at.
Send me
get my
TNA
money back.
Right quick. Yeah, I hate winning drop toe holds. I'm out. Sick of this place.
Yeah, that's nasty. But that's what's crazy. If you go back and like really deep dive into wrestling, it's every and like this kind of brings up another topic too, with like kind of playing into the finishers thing, where people were just like saying like, oh, they're using this person's finisher as a transition move now, but it's just like wrestling has been like that since the beginning. It's so many moves now that get used as transition moves that were finishers. Superplex, the DDT,
Yeah,
the super kick.
Oof,
Nigga, I went and looked some shit up. Apparently, the Irish whip was a finisher. How? I don't know.
Niggas was spinning people off the Irish whip.
Yeah, I don't know how that was working, but yeah, that was a finish apparently way back in the day.
Low key though, like if you're like a big dude and you know how to be like hard Irish whipping niggas into the corner and they be slamming against it. Hey, I could see it if you like if Braun was like slinging like Tozawa into that corner full speed into them turnbuckles.
That's a move that's underutilized now, but that's a big move. I like that heels do, like with a hard Irish whip into the corner, and they either hit that shit hard and fall down, or they get hard whipped to the point they flip out the ring. Kind of like with Triple H was really good at doing it, getting the hard Irish whip into the corner and then flipping all out of the ring all crazy.
I think that's how he tore his pec in Saudi Arabia.
Is it? That's hilarious.
I think he did that and then tore his pec.
Because nigga, you do it too much. You sit here trying to do some shit like you still in the attitude era. I'm like, bro, I think you underestimate how old you got. Like, nigga. Like Triple H was 30. Triple H in his 30s in the 90s. Like, yeah, nigga, you're young.
I still got it. I got a lot left in the tank.
Like when he became the game and all of that, like that nigga was in his 30s. Like the beginning of his 30s. Like, yeah, bro. That's dead, brother.
You know what else was dead? That main event match, because Nic Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, got the W. And he is now TNA World Champion. He's holding gold for the second time in his career. They showed the side by side. Him when he won it and cashed in and got the world title, and him now. And I'm like, shouts out to Dolph. Let's see. Look at this now. All right, fans, listen. He just got the world title. So we gonna really see what y'all was talking about. Cause they said, hey, Dolph needed another chance. He didn't get to have his full run. He got hurt. Now he's fully healthy. Here's his world title. Let's see what he got.
Let's be real. It ain't gonna do shit now either. Like he had several chances and times for them to like really do something with him as far as momentum and putting the world title on him. Like, but he ain't had that type of momentum in a while. Like the last time I can remember is during that legendary run him and Miz had when they was main event pay-per-views with Intercontinental Championship matches and shit. Outside of those, outside of the year when that was going on, I want to say, what year was that? Was that 2017, 2018, something like that?
17. Around
17.
there. Yeah, around there.
2017, thought so. Like that was like his last chance to like be in the main event scene, be a main event champion. Before that, it would have where I really feel like they dropped the ball on him is when he was the lone survivor at Survivor Series in 2014.
Yep.
Like him winning, how he won, that was the perfect time to capitalize on a Dolph run.
Bro, they had a video on Twitter of like the final moments. Like somebody edited it, but it was like the final moments. Well, not the final moments, but like him eliminating everybody after like he was the only one left.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit, like I popped. I was like, yeah, that shit's crazy.
Bruh, I mind you, I wasn't watching wrestling at the time. I had come back the year after. So when I was catching up, going through the long, arduous journey of catching up on wrestling, and I saw that shit, I was like, yo, why did they do nothing with this? Why is he like what happened? It made no sense. Like
we're in a weird time, and they should have honestly. Vince is very well known for never capitalizing on stuff that's good.
Knowing he had just went. This was crazy because I didn't come back to wrestling until WrestleMania 31. He did that at Survivor Series of 2014. WrestleMania 31 was in 2015. So you mean to tell me in 8 months' time, basically 8-9 months' time, you just had nothing for this dude? Because Dolph, if I'm not mistaken, was he even on the WrestleMania 31 card?
If I remember correctly, that's the show that they started with the ladder match for the IC title. I think he was in that, and he had that spot with him and Brian headbutting at the last moment, and then he fell off the ladder, and Brian won the IC belt.
Okay, yeah. And then
Which
Brian
was great. It was great.
To,
it was great, but it's just
then,
like now Brian had to relinquish it shortly after.
And then Brian immediately had to relinquish the title type shit. Yeah. Just stupid shit on top of dumb shit. But
yeah. Was that the match that I think Barrett was the champion, right?
He might have been. I remember Luke Harper was in it.
Because that's when Dean stole a title, and then everybody started stealing the title.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should have been
nice.
Dean.
It was nice. It was a nice time, honestly.
Dean should have won that shit.
Yeah, nice mid card going. Like,
yeah,
Brian would have been a great IC champion.
Yeah, they was dropping the ball on a lot of shit back then. Is because Vince stupidity and he get the blinders on. He just wanted somebody to be champion, and no, this is the guy. He needs to be the guy this way. I'm like, all right, Vince, it can be done another way. No, it needs to be done this way. I'm like, all right, dude.
All right, Vince. It's like, all right, you right. My bad. I mean, hey, I wish Dolph well. Hopefully, he can do something with that world title over there in TNA. And I honestly, I'll tune in to even watch to see what he does with it. I'll see how he does with it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to check TNA out because I didn't see the whole pay-per-view, but from what I saw, I did enjoy it. It was pretty decent. So I'm gonna start checking in on TNA. Plus, I know they collabing with WWE some, so shit they doing over there I know is gonna matter in WWE at some point too, so I gotta check that out.
Yeah, I heard the Hardys
But
want
yeah,
to fight for the NXT titles. Apparently,
Hmm?
the Hardy want to fight for the titles in NXT.
yeah.
All right, bro.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? My guy Jeff, you know what I'm saying? He want a little run with them NXT titles.
Hey,
No,
bruh,
Run the fade right quick. Axiom, run the fade.
bro,
no.
Send the vid.
bro, I seen a video. Just FYI, we talking about the Hardys for the NXT titles in today's time in the year of our Lord 2024. Nigga, I seen on Twitter earlier today a video of Crush wrestling Matt Hardy in the New Generation era. Not,
Nasty.
not the Attitude Era. If it was the Attitude Era, it would have been the very beginning. But I'm pretty sure this was a definitely New Generation era. I'm like, bro, what are we doing? Why are we trying to put what's happening? What are we doing? Why are the Hardy Boys trying to have tag team matches for titles that when they won their first tag team titles, nobody in NXT was an adult.
That's
Nobody.
nuts.
Not even the old motherfuckers there. Sean Spears, as old as he is, was probably still a kid the first time the Hardys won a tag title. Ain't no probably in it. He was. Sean Spears is what, 41, 42, 43 years old? I
Yeah,
mean, in '04, he was like 21, 22, 23. The Hardys won their first tag titles in the 90s, which
hey
means he still
man,
would have been a kid.
they want to run at them belts. Run it, bruh. Run the fade.
Fuck NXT being a thing. Most NXT roster wasn't even a thing yet when them niggas won their first tag titles. What are we talking about here?
Let's go
That
ahead and
this
hang it
that
up.
be
Let's go ahead and hang it up.
yeah, bro. That be my thing, bro. We had this conversation earlier too, bro. Like basically along the lines of when do niggas need to realize it's time to tap out or they should already been tapped out? Like wrestlers be so in denial of when they need to let this shit go, bro. And then this fucked up part is the fans feed into the fuckery more. And it's just like, how are you enjoying seeing basically a corpse of your quote unquote one of your quote unquote favorite wrestlers still
Me,
parading
I'm
around here?
fans.
I'd rather, and that's the problem. Like,
I'm
no, bro,
kidding.
I
I'm
be
kidding.
wanting to.
No, well, listen. I don't. Here's my personal opinion on that. If I'm being real, like they don't move like the way they used to. I don't need to see that. They can literally just if they want to show up and fight for the belts, sure. But you're gonna lose and then you're gonna hang it up and retire and go in the Hall of Fame and go by your day. Like y'all don't need to be
Or,
winning nothing.
or they could show up and not fight for the belts. They can go be agents in TNA.
You don't want the
Go
Hardy
do
rub?
go do. No, you want to do that?
No,
Go be an agent because there's a younger nigga named Javon Evans who is the new high flyer. Jeff, go agent that nigga right there. Go over there. I don't need to see
facts,
Jeff on my screen right now.
facts, facts, all facts. Like, bro, hey, and listen, it for me, it don't just apply to the guys who like, well, he lost the step. It apply to everybody. Like, motherfuckers need to understand, like, you gonna get old at some point. That's when it becomes your job to get the next guys over, to get the next guys to the level you were just at. And you don't necessarily have to do that shit on screen. Like we was speaking on earlier, the whole Bobby Lashley possibly leaving and what was behind possibly why he was leaving. It's a lot of, what I believe to be losers on social media, trying to insinuate that, oh, it's because Triple H is racist. And I was just like, I'm so sick of fucking tired of that word being misused and people just throwing that shit around willy nilly. I'm like, bro, What are we talking about? First of all, if he was racist, if you want to really believe what a racist really is, nobody in that company, there wouldn't be anybody in the company that's of color.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be all white people wrestling other white people. That's it.
Yep.
Nobody backstage of color would be employed either. That's the first thing if you want to talk about being a fucking racist, idiots. Secondly, is like why he's racist because Bobby Lashley wants to leave and well he hasn't been booked correctly and no black people have been booked and I seen a good fact somebody brought up. They was just like no black person has had a singles match in any pay-per-views since October of 2023 and that was Bianca. And I was just like, and that's just main roster, not counting NXT. And at first I was like, that's kind of a cause for concern a little bit. But then I thought about it and I'm just like, well, shit. Who the fuck on the main wrestler is a singles wrestler?
Right.
Because everybody currently is on a team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's grouping all the black people together. Well, is he grouping all the black people together or is he trying to build them up as stars? Because before he put Bianca with Jade, Bianca was arguably the biggest star in the company. She damn sure was pushed like that. Y'all talking about he ain't doing much with Bianca, but the same people that are saying he ain't doing nothing with Bianca, he's racist. Just a few months ago, y'all was complaining. Y'all was wanting to call Bianca Hogan, which is crazy in hindsight, because she wasn't fucking losing.
My thing
But
is
Lord,
like Bianca was by herself fighting against a whole ass faction and getting her ass whooped. Now she got
yeah,
a click. Why y'all mad at that?
facts. It made sense story wise, and then it's just like I don't know backstage wise. Why wouldn't it make sense? She has a younger wrestler who was poised to be a fucking superstar and you have somebody who's literally identical to her as far as their capabilities,
Yep.
as far as the athleticism and what they can do in the ring, the potential for that. Why wouldn't I place them together? That makes sense. And even though, look at Naomi. Naomi's been there already. Even though Naomi's been there already, she associates with them, but Naomi ain't grouped up with them like that all the time. Naomi on her own for most of the time. Also, I don't know if anybody knows it. Naomi rarely loses. I don't know if people have noticed that part. Come on, she's not booked strongly. When the fuck do Naomi lose?
She loses to
She loses to the
progress the story.
champions. She
Progress the
might lose.
story.
She might lose to progress a story, but even the people she losing to, it's always somebody prominent. She's not just losing to nobodies. That's a overly used word in the wrestling community too. Buried. I don't think you understand what the fuck buried means.
Mhm.
You can't just bury a person with one loss unless it's to somebody significantly worse and they embarrass them. That's a burial. Just losing a match doesn't have you buried. I'm like, she loses in sense of the story, but it's just like for the most part, she beats everybody. Naomi's won at least 2 or 3 matches where I didn't expect her to win. I was expecting the other person to win because to me it made sense for the other person to win, but she won anyway.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, they mostly really overuse that word when it comes to people trying to build a story or have something going on, and then they end up losing. Like buried is a term you should use for like Caden Carter and Katana Chance. If you want to say somebody's buried, you can say they're buried. But to be fair, they don't really matter, to be honest with you. And most stuff they're doing is not mattering. So again, they overuse it, and they should know when it's being used in story wise for something that's going on. Not every loss means you get buried. If you look at Lucha Underground, and for those who ain't watch it, like people would lose all the time there, but that don't mean they get buried. It's just they made it built to where like everything that happens in that show means something. It's not just all right, a nigga loses, that's it. Like it's every win or every loss or something. It's all meaning something.
You're telling exactly. If you're telling a good enough story, a loss is going to mean something just like a win will. Because just like people love to harp on saying something is a pointless loss, there can be such things as pointless wins too. Winning just to be winning is pointless.
You know what else is pointless? I ain't gonna lie. You know what else is pointless? That hour-long match we had to see in AEW.
Who is we?
We meaning Frank and me.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you didn't have to sit through that.
Y'all good. Y'all go with that. I see y'all shit.
We
them y'all boys.
Hey,
y'all man.
Listen.
When he said we, he meant him and everybody else because I didn't see majority of that match.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Never mind. So look, we're gonna make some statements here, okay? All right. For those out there, for those of you in the community who just love this match, you rave for this match. You put this match on a totem pole and say it is the greatest AEW match to exist. Well, I'm here to tell you this right now, point blank period, in the MVP's lounge. This match was not that great. It was an okay match that just so happened to go for an hour.
Basically, I didn't see the match at the time. I did go back and watch like majority of the match, based off of what I seen. I had already seen when it was going live, and then I went back and watched whatever I missed. Yeah, my sentiments exactly like the whole overhyped part of this is just one of the greatest matches in AEW's history. I'm like, no, they've had several matches better than that. They just had a match at the last pay-per-view that was better than that. Like Swerve and Ospreay was better than this. Swerve and Ospreay was a really good match, and it was better than this match.
If I'm being real, the match later on tonight, not tonight, but later on that night, Okada and Swerve, I enjoyed that match more than I'd rather that match had went the distance than the one we had at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, that match had makers of being better. Ospreay and Kenny Omega also better.
Exactly. Shoot, Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan better.
Exactly. I'm like the nerve of y'all to put this Hangman and Swerve. The when they was beating the blood out of each other and shit.
Yeah, the Texas Deathmatch thing.
Texas Deathmatch between Swerve and Adam Page. That was better. There have been several matches in this company's history that were much better. To say that's one of the best match in that company's history, I'm like, bro, let's be honest here. That don't disrespect the whole history of the company, even though it's still a young company. They've had way better matches. They've had better matches this year.
CM Punk and MJF. Again, they had better matches. Dog collar match, top tier. The second match they had was top tier.
That tag match of the tag match that was
it FTR.
FTR versus
Jay White and Juice.
Jay White and Juice, yeah. That match was better.
Yeah, they gotta stop throwing this best match of all time around like it's a piece of cookie.
When you throw stuff like that around, when you make those types of statements, it diminishes so many things, like the impact of other matches, and it's just like, bro, you don't have to say this every time. When you say it so much, it loses the impact. because it's just like, well, these words don't mean anything because it's just going to be another match that you end up saying this same thing for that. So it's just stupid to keep saying it. It's like, just say it was good. That's why I don't grade shit to a certain scale, because it's just like, when you do that, you set yourself up for failure. You don't necessarily set yourself up for failure. You only do that when you don't stick to, if you're not honest with your scale. Like if you're grading shit 1 to 5, or if you're grading shit 1 through 10, and you grading out a bunch of 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, then it's just like they lose the same feeling or meaning.
And you know what? If I'm grading it from a 1 to 5, that match, it gets like a 3.9.
I grade on a 1 to 10. I grade on a scale of 1 to 10. That was it was a good match. It was solid.
Like, yeah, listen, 3.9 is a
Especially
solid match.
For an hour long match, but
like
for me, scale of 1 to 10, that match was a solid 6.5, which is a great score.
And for me, 3.9, hey, it was right there on the cusp of before. It's just that there are certain things in the match that, because it went on for so long, I noticed. Like Ospreay, he has the tendency a lot to like not sell things. So like his leg was getting worked and it was like he was feeling the pain most of the match. And I was like, all right, cool. His leg is hurt. He about to be limping and trying to limp and do moves most of the match. But literally the back half of this match, man, acted like his leg was perfectly fine. Ain't nothing happened. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? What are we doing? Your leg was just hurt.
He had adrenaline in his soul.
Oh my God, it's Cody Rhodes.
Now I will say, listen, this was my best spot of the whole match.
That's anticipated encounter. I'm the smartest wrestler in the entire world.
Like that was my favorite match.
That was just hilarious. Seeing that part was fucking hilarious. I'm the smartest wrestler in the whole world. Shut the fuck up. It was really satisfying because it's just like most people, you get tired of hearing MJF run his fucking trap. That was awesome to see. Like him popping him in his shit. Shut up. We were hear that shit. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. So that was dope. I fucked with that. But yeah, on a I gave it a 6.5. It was decent. It was pretty good. I would definitely say it was above average. 5 being average. It was good. It was a good match. Nothing great. No, I wouldn't say very good, but it was a pretty good match, especially for it being an hour long. Both guys did really well, but it wasn't nothing for me personally to write home about.
Yeah, like they had the long match and MJF ends up cheating and gets to take the IC belt, the international belt off of Ospreay. So
Off of Ospreay, right?
So and they showed in the match, Ospreay again has his internal conflict of whether to use his power driver on this man and kill him, and he decides not to do it. And doing so costs him the match. So.
Right.
Which again, great storytelling there, because again, it builds the story of what Swerve's been telling them. You don't have the killer instinct, and since not having that killer instinct, he's been losing.
It tells a good exactly, and it pushes forward another story as well. Now, I love that part about it because it's just like for anybody any AEW detractors, they're saying they don't tell stories. They absolutely do, because that story in of itself, like you just said, with him still having doubts about using the Tiger Driver, it's costing him matches. It's cost him several matches, and now it has cost him his championship. So he's going to have to go for that shit. And it plays back into what Swerve said before.
Yeah, not having that killer instinct is really what's sent this man down the losing streak now. So going forward, when he ends up, I guess, having his rematch, he's going to have to end up using that move. Now, what would that do to him? I don't know if it's going to spiral that man out and let him go crazy, but we'll see. I mean, Danny Garcia also eventually going to need his revenge because MJF killed him and spiked that man on his neck. So I don't know how long he'll be out for. Maybe prior to like All In or who knows, really.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it definitely tells that part of the story too. On MJF side, with him winning that championship, now he gets a chance at being champion for a while before Daniel Garcia makes his inevitable return and ends up beating him for the title. So there you have it.
Mariah May, I'm liking what they're doing with her. She's been booked fantastically. Her heel turn is
Fire. I'm liking it.
Like Tony Storm, Mariah May going to tear the house down at All In.
Yo, first off, we gotta speak on this too. Yo, I know they say everybody in the world has a twin, but it is ridiculous how much Mariah May looks like Tony Storm when she has the whole when she's having the whole Tony old school get up on. Like, bro, she looked just like Tony. I thought that was her. Like, I had to see several pictures to come to an understanding of like, no, this ain't Tony. I'm like, what? That looked just like her. Speaking of Tony, not Storm, but Shivani, my boy was wilding over there on the Mariah was trying to cut a little promo. He was like, speak, bitch. I'm like, hey, Tony, hey.
Yo,
Yeah,
Tony,
I don't watch AEW, but I saw that clip on Twitter and I just cackled, bro. That shit was hilarious.
Bro,
Tony
that
was in
shit
his
had me
bag.
weak. Tony was in his Duffy. I said, oh shit.
That shit sounded like that was a shoot, and everybody was like, "Yo, hey, what the fuck?"
Yeah, what the fuck? It was like this nigga Mike was hot and he didn't realize it. That shit was funny as hell, bro. That shit was funny. But like she's killing this gimmick. She really is. Like Mariah is coming into her own, and I really dig it. I really like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Speaking more on AEW, shouts out to my man's Christian and the Patriarchy for getting the W over the Gun Club. Now they are now the Trios champions. Well, just Christian, I guess, because he was holding up all 3 belts by himself.
That should be funny as hell because whenever they have belts, even if it's somebody else's title or it's other people's titles, he's holding all the championships. I don't know why, but that is funny as hell to me. Like if he come out on some Ultimo Dragon shit where he got all the belts, even though they the trio champions, that's funny as hell.
But he ain't got no business doing that.
Like that's funny as hell. Like what is this man on? But yeah, shout out to the patriarchy. Christian killing it, bro. They can only keep him from. This got to be said too. They can't keep him away from the main event scene, but for so long, they gonna have to listen. It's gonna have to happen.
Yeah, he said it. He coming for that world title. Right after he gets his side missions done here. So he got the trios belts. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, Swerve, keep launching that belt. You may have beaten Christian once, but can you do the second time? This man has been killing it. Bo has stepped into the role perfectly. Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six have been just setting the tone these past month and a half, almost 2 months.
Something like that, yeah. Nah, they fucking it up. They killing it. They started doing some shit that I was hoping they would do. I was like, I really hope they do this, and then they started doing it. So I'm very happy about that. With the videotapes that they was delivering, and, you know, they had Bo get his shit off first, which I wasn't mad at all. I actually loved that. And then after he got his due, it's gone to the rest of the group too. And I was looking forward to that and hoping for that, and then they did it. So that was dope. So They went to Eric Rowan first. Then they just did. Eric Rowan also was the Rambling Rabbit,
Yeah,
and then they did Abby the Witch, also known as
Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross, and then I'm assuming they're gonna do the next two as well, which is gonna
Yeah,
be the
I think they're gonna probably do which I thought they were gonna save Abby for last, but I think they're gonna do Loomis next, then Gacy. But it's probably not gonna be for like they're gonna get one of them out the way, but I don't know if they're really gonna give him a match at SummerSlam or not.
I think they'll have a moment at SummerSlam. I don't think they're gonna have a match. I think they'll have a cool ass moment.
You know what? Would you be mad at debuting the Wyatt Six at Bad Blood and giving them a
Like
Hell in a Cell
for
match?
no, they don't need no Hell in a Cell.
They don't need Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, they don't need no Hell in a Cell match. Uh, they'll just get a regular match when they do debut, and that's perfectly fine. They don't need nothing extra. Like I said, they'll just get a regular moment at not a regular moment, but they will get a moment at SummerSlam to add to the show because with all the hype that they've built up and the intrigue and interest surrounding them, it makes sense for them to have a moment at SummerSlam. And now what exactly it'll be, who knows? But storylines going right now, so they definitely will be there. I'm looking forward to see exactly what they do. Their first match will probably be at the next pay-per-view after SummerSlam.
I guess we can address Mr. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre now since they're officially on the card now, as people expected.
I mean, yeah, that was obviously coming.
Well, see, I expected it to be like a non-sanctioned match because Adam Pearce kept suspending everybody every week.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was gonna be. It'd be cool if it was some sort of stipulation. Well, there is a stipulation to a degree. There's a special guest referee, which is Seth Rollins. So they got a match at SummerSlam, but there's definitely a caveat because it's just like got a nigga who got beef with both of them. Because it's just like Drew just beat Seth for his title at Mania. And on top of that, Drew tried to cash in during Seth's match. So to be honest, Seth should have just as much animosity for both of them. Should be told if they're doing the story correctly. Seth should have just as much animosity for both of them. Really, we're being honest, it should be more for Drew because Drew has cost him more. Punk ain't did shit to him. Like you said, he just got a problem with Punk because of some shit he probably said about him on the internet. Whoop-de-doo. But like, in the grand scheme of things, Drew was costing more. Drew beat you for your championship. Drew also cost you once you got back from injury. Drew also cost you in your first opportunity for the championship. An opportunity where it was literally, if you lose, you can't challenge again as long as this person is champion. So it's just like, yeah, you should have your problem should be with Drew mostly.
Well, he about to have a problem with Punk. As well, Punk will have a problem with him specifically. The moment this man says screws this nigga out of this match.
Yeah, they both gonna have some issues. They all gonna have issues with each other. This ain't the end of either. This ain't the end of the feud for nobody. This is just gonna carry on to another thing. They probably gonna end up facing each other at Bad Blood. And what I believe to be, even if it ain't in a Hell in a Cell, I believe there's going to be a triple threat match involving them three at Bad Blood. It would be cool if it was in a Hell in a Cell because it's just like it would be some different and new. We haven't, at least I don't ever recall there being a triple threat match in a Hell in a Cell before. I know you've had a bunch of singles matches. You've had a few tag matches. Well, it's only been one tag match, and then you had that 6-man tag match that time. I mean, not six.
Yo, son, that was hilarious. That was comical.
It's hilarious.
Oh man, Y6 got him up out of here, y'all. He'll be back in a couple seconds, but till then, we're gonna transition over to the bloodline and Cody's problem, okay? Because Cody, I am really sick. Listen, some of y'all out here just love Cody, bro. Just love this dude. This dude sucks. I'm plain and simple saying it. I hate Cody. I'm sick of this nigga. All right, this dude. Kudo, let me ask you this, right? Okay. You get jumped, you get crucified, you got to sit there and watch your homie get killed. He's getting murdered. The man just had back surgery. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if he was gonna be able to wrestle again. He's probably gonna retire, but he came back. Now he getting slammed on his back through tables, getting jumped. You got to sit there crucified and watch it as these dudes, Samoan niggas, jump you. You telling me the very next week you're gonna show up on TV and say, "So, what do you guys want to talk about?" That's the first thing you're gonna say, like offer it, like that's you.
Well, that's these people's champions. So you know.
Because I know me, if I'm getting jumped, the first thing I'm doing when I pull up next week is I'm addressing the business and we getting to it. Like we just getting straight to it. Like there's no talking, there's no like we getting straight to it. But we'll get back to that in a sec. We'll let Frank get back to that, and you gonna get back to it too. We're gonna let Frank finish his sentence. Okay, he escaped the Y6. All right, so let's let him finish his. You said 6-man tag, right?
I was saying like not the 6-man tag, but they had the Armageddon shit in a cell or whatever it's called. When it was 6 people, the one that had Taker, where Taker threw Rikishi off the roof and all of that shit. That one.
Yeah, we need some more of
But
that.
I'm all for that. Like I want to see different types of, not necessarily matches, but like different shit incorporated into a Hell in a Cell match. Like, yeah, there should be a match where it's more than just 2 people in a Hell in a Cell. I know that typically they're 4 blood feuds, but it's just like, okay, you can put what you clearly showing with Punk, Drew, and Seth. You can have a blood feud involving 3 people.
I mean, I don't even think the Seth thing is a blood feud for them niggas right now. Anyway.
I'm saying they got plenty of time to build to.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I think the blood feud is between McIntyre and Punk. Seth can't do nothing right now, so we're just gonna add that motherfucker in here somewhere.
I mean, hell, you can do enough. He just had a match.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying he ain't got nothing to do, so we're just gonna add him to this whole Drew Punk thing since he can't challenge for the title right now.
Yeah, which adds him to their rivalry, and it makes sense, and it gives him something to do going forward as far as potentially being a triple threat match, which could also possibly be a Hell in a Cell, because all of these niggas hate each other, and it would make sense, and they got time to even build more animosity between. I mean, it's been built between CM Punk and Drew, but it's more to add. Even with putting Seth in it, you can add him to have more animosity towards the both of them too. So it can be built and expounded upon. I mean, hell, it's happened before. When other triple threat matches throughout time. I remember when they had the what was it, Rock, Angle, and Taker. The motherfuckers hated each other. They was whooping each other's asses weekly. Then it was 4 because I remember Austin was involved in that to a degree too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, they'll continue their feud, and you know, I think what we really got to lead right into is Dom and Rhea and Liv and the love triangle that has now become just, well, Dom stated his claim tonight, getting rid of Liv, cussing her out. But I don't think that's where it ends. You said that tonight. I don't think that's where it ends, because at the pay-per-view, we're really going to see the true colors of what happens.
Nah, I don't think that's the end of it at all. I mean, obviously it ain't, but like there's definitely layers to it. I'm trying to figure out exactly how they gonna play this, because who turning on who? Because there's going to be some turns. I just don't know exactly who's turning on who.
Well, Rhea's a face, so
She's getting cheered, but she's still a heel because they still presenting her like a heel. And
uh,
and
how
storyline.
is that? How do they present her as a heel?
What you mean how they present her as a heel? She's still treating Dom like a bitch. Like
Yeah,
that's heel work to me. Not to
or
mention, not to mention, she is a heel. Like she just because she got injured, that don't make her a good guy now. No, you got injured because the person you injured first came back and got their revenge.
but
The
I'm
person
saying
who was the good guy.
she's always treated Dom that way because that's her character. I'm saying how are they presenting her as a heel?
That's still heelish just because people like it. That don't mean it's not a heel tech. That's not heel type energy. That's not heel type behavior. People being cool with it. That just, I mean, let's be honest. That's the wrestling crowds are filled with simps. Of course, they cool with a bitch bossing them around. But it's
I don't
just like,
understand.
why she
I don't understand.
she pushing this nigga around? She pushing this nigga around like he the girl. Like what the fuck? What are we doing? It's a grown man. Like let's be real about this. Like she's not. She's just because I listen. People can. I look at people for what their actions say. I don't go off crowd reactions all the time. Just because people are cheering you, that don't necessarily means you're a face. Just because people booing you don't necessarily mean that you're a heel. I mean, fans are fickle as hell anyway. They'll be cheering her this week, booing her the next. So it never really go off fan reaction. All I know is based off the things that she's done, she ain't the heel to me. I mean, she's not the face to me. How's she the face? Hell, she was the one in the wrong. She injured Liv. Liv came back for her get back.
Well,
That's equal in my book.
we know that. I'm saying that as a person, watching, we know that you know Liv was always in the right or whatever. But I'm just saying as me looking at it personally, Rhea is not the heel as far as how they're classifying it to me. Like I see her and Damian Priest as faces right now. I don't see them as heels, even though they're still with the heel group of the Judgment Day.
Priest, I can see as a face. I don't see Rhea as I don't put them two together. Like that's not the same things to me. Just because they're in the same group and they're in proximity, that's not the same thing. For starters, Priest has done more honorable shit as far as like a face move, like him saying like, okay, even after he beat Seth, that deal is off. You can still face me for the title after I get rid of Walter. A heel wouldn't do anything like that. That's a face move. Like, what the hell has Rhea done to suggest that she would be a face in that regard to doing something like that? Like, she's come back and she's been talking to Dom greasy as hell. Like, that ain't no
That's
face
always been
moves. Like, you
that's always
supposed
been
to be.
that's always been their
But
dynamic.
that's the problem. Is my point. That's not okay.
Nah, I see what he means. He's saying pretty much yes, even though like that Rhea and Nakuda, I get what you mean. That's always been their dynamic, but you got to remember that Rhea pretty much chokeholded this man into this group and has treated him as such so far. So yeah, Dom was a heel in the group with her still. She pretty much is the reason why he got to this point. Like she was pretty much the heel in the situation. Because even after, look, you gotta think about it. Like as he pointed out, she injured Liv, so Liv came back and got her come up and got her get back on her. So yeah, yes, the crowd do love her at the moment, but like she's still the heel in the situation. Like she's still
I
in the
mean, the
wrong.
crowd likes her because she's a good wrestler. And again, you got a bunch of simps in the audience who somehow find her to be super attractive. But outside of that, it's just like nothing she's doing, no type of behavior she has is face behavior.
She also told
It's
them not to mess with Jay.
all heel shit.
Okay, so that is I will say the one face thing she has done. I will give you that one. That was the first face thing she's done is telling him not to mess with Jay. So that's the start of that. I'll give you that.
That whole shit don't even make sense with them even having a problem with Jay because Jay ain't did shit to them. Why would they have a problem with Jay? That don't
Phil
even make sense to them.
Finn was just trying to just get him up out of here for no. Again, they had no problem with him. They were just trying to just kill the nigga for no reason.
Finn is
That's what I'm saying. That shit made no sense.
Finn is manipulating everything.
Yeah,
So
Finn might.
that's why Dom has a problem with Jay. Because Finn's in the background messing with him about him and Rhea.
But I said earlier when talking to Marquez when we was watching it, I was just like, the storytelling here is low key getting clunky. The shit is all over the place, and it's because of shit like that, like not being to definitively decide what direction you want to go in with somebody. Are they going to be face? Are they going to be heel? Like, what are you doing? So it's storytelling, and then they all in the same faction. So again, storytelling has been clunky. And you doing shit like involving them in multiple storylines, and it's just like you who the fuck is supposed to be the leader? Who's supposed to listen to who? And I knew that was going to be a problem for the jump because it's just like it's not believable with a woman being a leader of a male faction. I'm sorry for those people who trying to make it seem like it makes sense. It don't. It's not believable. Well, why is it not believable? Because they all could fuck her up if they wanted to. That's why it's not believable. Like, let's be real here. Who the fuck can Rhea actually stop in that group? Nobody. JD McDonough put her through a fucking wall. Like, I'm sorry, it's not believable. I don't take it serious. If she's losing matches to the women and they're not doing anything, they couldn't do anything against these guys. What the fuck I supposed to believe somehow Rhea can beat them, but she can't beat all of the women? No, that's ridiculous. So they was going in the wrong direction trying to do that anyway. That was the first fuck up with the group. And then it's just like it's like Priest is the leader. Or is it seeming like Finn is the leader now? Like, what the fuck direction are they going in? I personally think what they finna do because it's not over with Liv. Obviously, Liv has shown to have done more for the group than what what's her face did. Than Rhea actually did with the group. Leah got them the tag titles. Leah got Dom his first victory over his dad. Like everything they've got since Rhea been gone has been because of Liv and Liv playing her hand in the shit. So again, I personally think that it's I don't know exactly who is switching up. I believe Finn I know is switching up. And I believe it's going to also be I don't know. I don't think Dom is staying with Rhea either, personally.
Of course not.
So I believe I believe Rhea. I believe Liv is going to end up with the whole group, and then it'll be like Rhea and uh what's his face what's their boy name Damian Priest. They'll it'll be them two, and then those two will eventually separate too. But yeah, it don't make no sense to me. It's weird. how they got it going. The storyline is kind of clunky right now, but I think they'll get it figured out by next weekend.
It's that long-term booking.
Well, I guess we can address our last thing of the day, which is the Bloodline and Cody Rhodes. Cody. I was already telling Kudo about it and telling the people about it that Cody is a horrific talker on the mic, a horrific champion, and he needs to be stopped. And again, as a person who witnessed his friend getting jumped, and you still asking the people what they want to talk about to start your promo off, I'm getting real sick and tired of it. I'm at the point now where I need Solo to either win this match or win this match. Those are the only options. Nothing else.
Yeah, it might be a good idea for them to get that belt off of him. Cody's more fun than the Chase. Him as champion is boring as fuck. He's not a good champion. I mean, whether people like it or not, everybody can tell some. I don't think Solo should face Cody. Like Cody's a much bigger deal. I'm like, Cody's run has sucked. Why can't people just be? This is why I don't like speaking to other wrestling fans who are because so many of the motherfuckers so disingenuous and full of shit. Because it's like, bro, be honest. Cody's run has been boring as fuck. He's done very little to nothing. First of all, 2 of his title defenses have been against the same dude, and the other one is against a motherfucker who's a part-time champion already. Which you knew the writing on the wall, he wasn't losing. Like, let's be real here, bro. Like bro, this nigga ain't it, bro. It's time for that belt to come up off him.
I told you niggas. And I don't mean y'all niggas. I mean the niggas out there. I told y'all niggas. All
Like,
y'all had to do was shut the fuck up and let us have Rock and Roman. Y'all couldn't do that shit. Y'all wanted y'all niggas to have y'all little Cody moment. Now look at you. Stuck with a SummerSlam match with Solo and y'all hate that nigga. Y'all's champion is fodder for the bloodline.
He's been that the entire time, by the way. He's been fodder for the bloodline for 2 years.
Y'all niggas champion. His background is only there in the main event for SummerSlam for Roman. That's it.
That nigga's background noise to the bloodline. He's background noise to the bloodline.
It's just funny to me, man.
It's and honestly, yeah, we did have this conversation with y'all. Y'all ain't want to fucking listen. You could have just let the Rock and Roman happen, then Cody come along later. You know what I'm saying? But no, Cody now. We want him now. And you got him, and this nigga's been mid as fuck the entire time. Like, we not sugarcoating shit here, bro. Cody run has been mid. I'm sorry. If you feel a way, so be it. You can put it in the comments. I don't give a fuck. But it should have been mid. It's been mid.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
He's had okay matches at best. He's had okay matches. None of them great. Just okay. His best match was literally the one he won the fucking championship from Roman in. He ain't had a match even remotely on par with that since then. He's boring.
I don't know how much we got to keep telling y'all this, but like we've been saying it for a minute now, and y'all seem
He's boring.
Don't know how to listen.
His promos are everything about him is boring. His matches are boring. His promos are boring. When he's struggling to get the words right. Like, what's happening here? What are we doing?
Y'all's champion was in the middle of the fucking show and he's champion. This has been happening since April, man. since April, Solo and the Bloodline have been in the main event of SmackDown and pay-per-views.
Mm.
Every time.
The only reason
Every
the only reason Cody was in the main event at Money in the Bank is because he was facing the Bloodline.
Yep.
Like, come on, man, get this nigga out of
Cody
here.
is just showing y'all exactly what we already knew, which is the fact that he was always a mid-carder. Since even with the return, he's just masquerading in the main event. Outside of when he's beefing with the bloodline, he doesn't fucking matter at all. At all.
And if I'm saying that shit, if we saying that shit right now, and Roman ain't came back yet,
Boy.
let Roman come back. Let Roman come back and see where y'all champion is when he come back.
And I'm gonna tell you this too. I need something. I need y'all to prepare for. They're going to try to give Cody this rub, whether you like it or not. They're almost certainly going to try to pair Cody with the old bloodline
Nasty,
against these guys,
nasty.
against the new bloodline. It's disgusting work,
I'd
but I
riot.
guarantee you that's what they're doing.
I'd riot. Fuck that. Ugh.
Because Cody Reign has been so boring, he don't get. But to me, this would further hurt Cody because it's be more. It would literally be to the point to where it's just like this dude got so little motion that not only do he only get motion with the bloodline, y'all putting him in the bloodline to even get him some motion. Like, what are we doing? I'm like, bro, like that to me, you can't call yourself a great champion or a big dog champion where you can only be involved with one rivalry. Like nobody else can build a rivalry with this dude.
When
Well,
everybody
he's
else
gonna
has
have
to
the
elevate you and you're not elevating them, there's a problem.
exactly. When when instead of you elevating people, people still having to elevate you, there's an issue. There's a problem. A person who's really getting over as a face or a heel, the championship don't elevate them, they elevate that championship. They make the championship shouldn't make them feel important. They should make the championship shouldn't make them feel important. They should make the championship feel important.
That nigga that made the fucking WWE championship forgotten.
Forgotten.
And the WWE championship at this point is damn sure an afterthought because the champion ain't worthy, man.
I can look whether he whether he wins or not. If Goon gets that world championship, he'll make that championship better than Cody Rhodes making the WWE championship.
Priest has had a better run than him. It ain't even gonna take Goon to do it.
I've heard people not like it, Priest's run, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Priest's run, his promos, his everything has been better than Cody, hands down, point blank.
Yep.
Period.
People who got a problem with Priest run are people who secretly they don't have a problem with Priest. Those people are Cody Rhodes fans, and they trying to put Priest down because they know deep down Priest has had an overall better run than Cody. So let me go and shit on Priest to make him look bad because Cody run ain't shit. I can't really lie and cap and say Cody's run has been fine or it's been great. It hasn't. It fucking hasn't. Okay. Damian Priest has seemed like the better champion because he has been.
Yeah, you know what? Some will say Damian Priest has had more opponents, so to speak.
He has had more opponents.
And it's true.
Cody ain't had number two.
And it's true. It's true.
He faced
It's
the
not
same
even.
nigga twice.
It's just that the matches that Priest were in, they were better.
And but
That
no,
too.
listen, that
Like
too.
you like Priest had Jay, and then he had Drew, and then he had Seth. That's a variety of opponents, different styles. All Cody had was Styles twice, and then Logan Paul. And like
Somebody
I
somebody
didn't
who's
care.
one of the goats,
Like,
but he's old, and the other one is a fucking part-time wrestler.
I didn't care. I love AJ Styles, but I didn't care. And maybe it's because I already, even though I knew Priest was retaining in those matches, there's still a little bit of doubt in my head. Like, man, he probably could lose, but
Mhm.
there's no way. I'm just like, Cody's not going to lose to fucking AJ. They don't like AJ like that. Cody's not going to lose to Logan Paul. They ain't really putting titles on Logan Paul. There's no doubt. So, like, y'all niggas don't. I don't like Cody Rhodes, and y'all are not making me care about Cody Rhodes. That's y'all's job. Y'all supposed to make me care about Cody Rhodes, and y'all aren't doing that.
Cody Rhodes isn't making me care about Cody Rhodes because his opponents aside, yeah, Priest has had more opponents, but Cody's promos have just been terrible.
Bro, stop starting every single goddamn promo you come to the ring talking about. So what do you guys want to talk about? That was cool the first time. Maybe even the second time you said it. That shouldn't have continued to be a thing. It's
That is the
weird, it's
nastiest
lame,
catchphrase.
and it's pointless as hell. Like you're forcing a catchphrase. That's nasty work. That's straight up nasty work. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? What do you guys want to talk about? Nothing, bitch. You don't ask us that question and then you already got stuff to talk about. What are you talking about?
Coming back from a career-ending injury.
I see that's what y'all ass get. Of course he messing up. I told y'all not to make no champion with no list. Nobody want to listen. Nobody want to listen to Frank though.
How he messed that up and he was talking so slow?
That's what I'm saying, bro. It'd be one thing if he was talking fast and fucking words up. He intentionally slowed down to still fuck up the words. What are we doing here?
This y'all got though. That's y'all
This
homie. That's
this
y'all
this
champion.
y'all champion. This
That's,
the We Want Cody. And it was so cool to see Cody Rhodes finally win the championship because, you know, I was like, it's crazy. I ain't see the nepotism arguments for Cody. Not like they was going in on Bronny James. I didn't see that for Cody. Somehow this ain't nepotism though. I guess it ain't nepotism because his daddy dead. Never mind the fact. Never mind the fact his dad died damn near 10 years ago, and this nigga's over 40, well over 40.
We
Never
gotta
mind
do
that.
it for
Oh, all right.
we gotta do it for Dusty though.
yeah,
I'm
man.
doing
We
the
doing it for
Dusty.
Dusty out here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Even though most of the people cheering for Cody and in the crowd talking about do it for Dusty weren't alive when Dusty was relevant. I'm like, yo, bro, Dusty had been relevant since the mid '80s, bro, early to mid '80s. What are we talking about here? Y'all niggas act like y'all saw some Dusty, man. Just, yeah, in archives, nigga, you didn't live those moments. Cody didn't see that shit live. What are we talking about here?
Most y'all saw out of Dusty was when it was Shield versus the Rhodes brothers, and Dusty whipped out his belt. That's it. That's all I got.
And I didn't see that. And you know what? Thank God. I'm glad. I didn't want to see none of that bullshit.
And I never watched that match, but I heard it was like a fucking amazing ass match. I have to. Go back and look at that Shield versus Rhodes.
It was a fantastic match. I'll tell you that. The Shield during that time period when they debuted to when they ended was a fantastic time period, to be honest with you.
I think I missed because that shit was on like Battlegrounds. I think I missed that shit, but I heard it was great.
I'm gonna have to take people's word for that one because you finna get me to go back and watch, Cody Rhodes, Goldust, and Dusty Rhodes match in the year of our Lord past 2010. No, nope, no.
I know what we're putting on the watch party.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's
Two of the three motherfuckers on that team was too old to still be wrestling.
Hey man,
Even back then, I ain't talking about just Dusty. I'm talking about his oldest boy too.
we got it.
nah, Dusty wasn't wrestling that match. He just happened to be outside.
We're not doing it for Dusty. We gonna watch it because we're doing it for the Shield, bro. They was in that match, bro.
Roman and Seth tag champs.
Listen, I didn't see none of this. I saw none of the Shield's run.
Damn.
So the hype with the Shield was, for me, nothing.
We'll get you right. It's all right. We'll get you right on the next watch.
Right. Look,
I went back and watched it. I went back and watched a lot of it. It's still nothing to me, but I mean, I take y'all word for it.
Did you watch Shield versus Wyatt's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, I saw that match. It was pretty
Being
good.
Being a fan at that time, boy, that shit was heat.
Shouts out to the Wyatts. Shouts out to Bray.
Bray and Brody.
That's crazy that like you watch that match now. He's like, yo, 2/3 of this faction is deceased, which is crazy.
That's sad to hear.
Like insane.
Now I'm depressed now. That's unfortunate. Oh man.
And yet, John, you know what? I ain't gonna finish that statement. All
right. Well, thank y'all today for joining us in the MVP's Lounge. We was talking a lot of wrestling today. WWE, AEW, and TNA. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share all that good stuff. Hey, shouts out to y'all. I was watching our last list video for the R&B music. Yeah, a lot of views on that so far. Shouts out to y'all. I ain't know y'all mess with R&B like that.
Yeah, that was the most accurate list too. If you have anything to say about that, just know I listen to R&B music for real. I can't speak for everybody else here. I think Kudo does. Them other two niggas, they didn't start listening to R&B until 2007, so I can't speak for that.
We've heard some things, you know what I'm saying? Some things. But hey, thank you for chilling with us today. I'm out here sounding like Cody. We'll see you next time for
well, I almost had an injury, didn't?
Yeah. We'll see you next time for I don't know what the hell we're gonna do next time. Is it Thursday?
Thursday should be the next show.
Yeah, Thursday will be the next show, which will be our list. And then Saturday, you're gonna get another recap from us for the whole thing. This is what we're gonna start doing now. So Thursdays are our list or new game show that we're gonna do, and then Saturdays, we're gonna do our recaps of all three shows. So the biggest things that happened so far.
Definitely gotta find a list in 2 days.
That'll be easy. Listen, as soon as we hit end here, we're gonna figure out a list.
We have something for y'all.
Till then, though, thank you for joining us. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Yay.
Reincarnated, I was stargazing. Life goes on, honey, and all my babies. Woke up looking for the broccoli. Hot key, keep a horn on me. That could my seat. IP ownership.
You must be sleeping under a rock or something.